11, engine 3161, engine 53, engine 23, engine 72.
July 15th, 2013, a massive dispatch of CAL FIRE's resources.
Engine 26, engine 3162, engine 3178.
The first call for what would become the Mountain Fire.
Batista 2, Batista 5, Batista 6, transport 3140, transport 3142, water tender 1.
Crews from CAL FIRE and the U.S. Forest Service raced to Mountain Center to battle fast-moving flames.
The full aircraft on order vegetation fire near the corner of Highway 243 and Highway 74.
The fire blew across Highway 243 and it was off to the races.
Fueled by extremely dry and windy conditions, the Mountain Fire scorched more than 27,000 acres, destroying 23 buildings, including 7 homes.
My daughter's house, did you see that one down there? There is no house left down there.
Flames climbed the rocky terrain of the San Jacinto Mountains. On the other side, dark smoke columns filled the sky over Idyllwild. As the threat grew and the fire crept towards the ridge, CAL FIRE ordered the small town evacuated.
If the wind changes and if the ash gets worse, maybe time to go. So I'm ready to go at a moment's notice.
The Forest Service estimates it cost almost $26 million to contain the 15-day fire. More than 3,500 firefighters stood on the front lines at the fire's peak, but one department believes it should have been there sooner.
We weren't brought into the situation as rapidly as we should have been, and it could have been a greater threat to our community.
In the aftermath of the fire, journalist Guy McCarthy received a tip about the delayed dispatch of the Idyllwild Fire Protection District.
Clearly a concern to some individuals, and I felt like if this is true, then the public deserve to know about it.
McCarthy made a public records request for this report from the first day of the mountain incident. It shows the first CAL FIRE engine getting called at 1:46 in the afternoon. You see Idyllwild highlighted yellow here. That call came at 2:03, 17 minutes later.
I won't say it was a mistake. I think our dispatchers were following their protocol at that time.
Idyllwild Fire Chief Patrick Wright says his firefighters could only wait and watch as engines from neighboring cities drove through Idyllwild en route to the scene.
If we weren't going to be requested, we would automatically dispatch, which is not something that we or any agency wants to do.
Despite being the closest engine to the fire, CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Chief John Hawkins says Wright's primary focus should be protecting his community.
But who's going to backfill the city or the town? Who's going to backfill? Who's going to respond to the town? Who's going to pick up the call?
Firefighters say this private property is the origin of the Mountain Fire, just 4.3 miles away from the Idyllwild Fire Department. Their next closest station, 7 miles away in Pine Cove.
To abate it using other resources that aren't the closest, to me, is very disconcerting.
But perhaps on paper, it makes sense. On May 23, 2000, CAL FIRE and the Idyllwild Fire Protection District entered into an automatic aid agreement. It spells out how the county might call on Idyllwild Fire and vice versa.
Basically, is agreement has been in service since 2000, but it hasn't been operational for many years, and it should be operational.
Those documents don't exist. They've not been in place. Why that is, I can't explain.
Both chiefs say the outdated agreement lacks a plan and a map, which caused the breakdown during the Mountain Fire. The origin of the fire did not fall within Idyllwild's jurisdiction. McCarthy brought light to the issue in his article.
As uncomfortable as it might be to point this out, that's part of my duties as a journalist. It's about accountability.
With the delay and its reason out in the open, the next question is, if Idyllwild got dispatched sooner, would it have made a difference? Would it have stopped the flames from spreading as quickly? Would it have stopped an evacuation turning the mountain town into a ghost town?
That's a difficult question to answer. I would go the other way and say it wouldn't have hurt.
While it's impossible to speculate the impact if Idyllwild Fire got the call earlier, Chief Hawkins knows how things will change in the future.
We would do it differently. We'll dispatch them directly and we'll follow the operating plan. We think that's what we need to do.
A plan Chief Hawkins already sent to Chief Wright for approval so this doesn't happen again.
Trying to keep focus not on what happened, but how do we move forward from this, and how do we make it better?
While moving forward, what happened in the first crucial minutes of the mountain fire remain unresolved.
I really look forward to hearing those bad feelings because I'm still waiting for the operating plan to come back, and I look forward to actually coming to me and express what are those bad feelings.
Chief Hawkins told us he sent the first draft of the new operating plan and map to Chief Wrights for review. As far as we know, he's still reviewing it. Meanwhile, businesses in Idyllwild continue to recover from the mountain fire that almost wiped them out. Some still wonder, what if? Greg Lee, News Channel 3.